alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. This is Mr. Middle Path, and inshallah everyone is doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about one red flag to look out for that quite possibly save your life, save you a lot of heartache, save you a lot of money, and save you a lot of energy and time. And that thing is to look out for one red flag in people. This is the inability to admit to fault. People that cannot apologize or cannot admit to fault are not to be married, are not to be had, or you shouldn't be friends with them. You shouldn't make business deals with them or work with them in business in a close capacity, hire them, or so forth. Because that problem will always get in the way. And sometimes people apologize as like a fake apology, or they don't really mean it. This is a pattern. How can you spot that? Especially if someone apologizes just to be sneaky. You spot that by a recurring pattern of the inability to admit to fault in a deep and meaningful way. They just can never admit to the fact that they're wrong. They can never admit that something happened. So let's say you want to marry someone and they're late or something happens and they give an excuse. You let it go. But if there's a consistent, recurring pattern of them always giving excuses, always never admitting to fault, then know that this person, you cannot marry them, because it will ruin everything else. And unfortunately, this disease of the heart, which comes from arrogance or comes from weakness, one of the two, is prevalent in a lot of people. Even good people, hardworking people, generous people can display this quality. And this quality is like a poison, is like a fly in the water. Like you have a sweet water, but that's the fly in there. You're not going to drink the water, even if they have other good qualities, because it'll stunt the growth. It stunts maturity, it stunts the growth, and it stunts the growth and relationship development with other people. I've had one of my friends who was in business for a while, and he's been basically taken advantage of multiple times when he was younger because he couldn't spot this quality, right? Or he made excuses for it, or tried to see things in a positive manner. Later on, when he got older, he learned, I'm not going to trust people that don't admit to fault or can't apologize for something. This is a serious red flag, and I agree with him on this because we see it in our own lives, especially older people. So don't be fooled if someone prays 5 times a day, or they're nice, or they're generous, or they're kind. Them not admitting to fault and not apologizing when they make a mistake is the #1 red flag to look out for, in a nutshell. Just a very innocent example, right? A wedding, right? And during that wedding, she was waiting for 3 hours before the bride finally came out. So for 3 hours, right? Imagine the wedding has already started, but for 3 hours, the bride never shows up. The families are all in the back room. Every now and then they come and check on the people, but the food, no one's eating from the food. So no one thought from the family to come out and say, hey, we're sorry. There's some stuff going on in the back. Please enjoy yourselves or enjoy the food, and we'll be out in a little bit. There was no mention of any fault or any mistake whatsoever. So this is an example of something so simple that someone could thoughtfully address and say, hey, we're sorry, please eat from the food until the bride is ready. But they didn't do that, which is a red flag. Once again, like, I'm sorry to say, but even nice people, even good people, even people who are well-intentioned, they simply cannot admit to fault. And this is a very big weakness. And it's not a good sign. And I'm not saying that everyone who can't admit to fault is a narcissist who takes advantage of others. It could be that they grew up in an environment where apologizing is seen as a weakness, right? But regardless of what the reason is for them, it's not your business. The outcome for you will be an inability to get stuff done, an inability to fix problems, and an inability to grow the relationship. So you don't need that in your life. Heed this advice, inshallah. It'll save you a lot of time, a lot of trouble, and a lot of heartache. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.